then once again, inhale, big deep breath. It's like your arms are pushing away from your sides. And exhale. Inhale, take both arms up and overhead reach. Exhale, hands down. Just a couple of times, just like that. Take your arms up and over your head, reach. And exhale down. Once more, take your arms up and over your head, reach. Stay up. Lift that chest. And then lower your hands down to your sternum. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Lift your chest. Release your arms, round forward, press your palms down, roll the upper back. Inhale, roll the shoulders up around your back, take your hands back, lift that chest. Inhale, bring your hands forward, interlace your fingers and press down. Again, roll those shoulders back, take your hands back behind you, lift that chest. Drop your chin, take your hands in front, press down. This time take your arms up, overhead reach. Get long. Push the palms up. Pull the shoulders back. Exhale, bring your hands back down. And just again, stand nice and tall. So just simple movements can open the body up, kind of reassess, just kind of recheck in with the body and notice what the body's feeling. Movement and breath is what moves the entire body. Inhale, take your arms up. Exhale and dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and through. Inhale and scoop up. Exhale, hands through. Again, circle up, reach. Pull up from the baseline, from the floor of the pelvis. Exhale, hinge. Don't let that space collapse. Dive. Inhale, pull the body forward away from the thighs. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Elongate the entire back line of the body. From the crown of the head to the base of the heels. Like think of underneath the heels as where you're feeling that pull coming from. Not just from feet hitting the ground. Sweep your arms up and exhale through. Two more. Circle those arms up. Exhale and dive. Get long. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale and through. Once more. Circle up. Exhale, big. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Take your arms down by your side. Just notice if the body feels a little bit more settled. Notice if the balance in the feet is a little bit more even. Is it easier to release your glutes? How's your shoulders over heels feel? Inhale, take your arms out wide to a T, palms up. Feel that tensional pull across the biceps into the forearms. Palms come together. Breathe. Inhale, left leg steps back to lunge. So pull your right hip back. Think of lining up the hips over the shoulders. Breathing, circle those arms up, reach. Exhale, hands to the ground. Get long still, heel to crown of the head. So there's this a continuum of length that's pulling through the entire body. Breathing, pull the belly off that front thigh, drop the back knee, keep the neck long, keep the shoulders away from the ears, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, take your hands down, lift the back knee up, take the right arm up over shoulder. Exhale, right hand down, step your left foot forward and forward. Inhale, look forward, sweep up. Exhale and through. Bend the knees as you can, step back with that right leg. Pull that right hip forward, left hip those arms up. Reach. Pull the tailbone slightly under. Pull the shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale, circle around. Keep that space nice and long. Pull the belly off of that front thigh. Breathing long in the neck. Begin to slowly drop into the back knee. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms. Breathe. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, lift the back knee as is comfortable. Take the top arm up. Exhale, left hand comes down and step the right foot forward next to you. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead, reach. Exhale, dive forward, hands to the ground. Inhale, half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale and fold. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, lift. Oh, those collarbones opening up. So ideally, it's not that your shoulders are pinned back constantly. It's that you're just opening that space for a moment and letting it come back. It's going to find its natural movement in space, because you don't also want your arms just hold it in front. So that stretching, that opening, is trying to find that balance between the front and back sides. Lift that chest. Drop the chin, release the hands, press down. Round the upper back. Inhale, take your arms up and overhead reach. Lift the chest. Pull the sides of the arms up. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, hands to the center. Left leg steps back to lunge. Circle your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the ground. Back knee to the ground. Inhale, arms up over chest. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, back knee lifts, top arm comes up, right hand. Exhale, right hand down, step your left foot forward. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale and down. Inhale, sweep up, overhead, hands back down through the center, step back with your right leg, nice long lunge. Drop those shoulders, circle those arms up. Exhale down, nice and long, drop that back knee, reach those arms high, pull the hips slightly forward. Exhale, hands down, back knee up, front arm up. Circle that top arm around, right foot steps together. Exhale and fold. Inhale and sweep up. Exhale and fold. The arms drop by your side. Again, check in. Notice what you notice. Again, you're not assigning anything, you're just noticing. Inhale, take your arms up, and exhale through. Good. Step your left foot to the back side of your mat so that you can have your legs nice and wide. Good. So there's too wide where your knees want to start caving in to kind of correct for the space, and there's too narrow, which when we hinge forward, you're going to end up widening out your feet. Ideally, as you take your arms out, your forearms or your wrists are just about over your ankles. So if you're over 4 feet tall, you should be able to have good wide stance in your legs as well. Since we all are in that category today, waist is good. Body's nice and tall. Reach those arms away from the midline of the body as if you could touch something further out than where your fingers are. Tuck your tailbone slightly, pull your rib cage to the body, and then take your hands behind your back. Good. Inhale, pull the chest up without arching the back. So you're not trying to load the lower back. You're just pulling the chest up. Pam, put your hips back just a tiny bit. There you go. Oh, sorry. Both of you Pams, if it, just do it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Lift that chest. Now, without arching the lower back, begin to push the hips back and hinge forward, bringing your hands overhead. Head down, chin in. As you can, drop your hands to your sides, to the ground, touch the ground. If you need to, grab a block. Because if you can't easily touch the ground here, then you're just struggling, and there's no reason for that. Come up onto the tips of the fingers, pull your shoulders away from the ears, leaving your left hand on the ground without lifting your right hip. This is a tricky one. Keep that right hip level. It's going to be a tight rotation. Lift and reach that right arm up. So it's real easy to just shift and find the inner thigh. Oh, I can just stretch into that inner thigh. Well, I want you to actually brace the inner thigh and not let the inner thigh make you rotate or allow for the rotation and shift over. So you may not be able to go as far as you think, but if you come up a little bit higher, you will be able to go further. Turn your palm towards me. Think of your thumb towards your head. There you go. And then exhale, lower your hand down. Breathe in. And again, just forward. And then come up again on your fingertips. Leave your right hand on the ground this time. Again, shift. Don't shift into that left hip. Try to keep your hips square. Rotate first from the torso. Take your top arm up. Then move your head on this. Push the ground down for ground force to bring your arm up. And then exhale, bend and come forward. Head down, chin in. Walk your hands forward a little bit further so you're almost in a wide angle, downward facing dog. Sit your weight back. If you need to slightly bend your knees, you may feel that stretch coming from the outside of the ankle. Press the big toe down, the pinky toes down. Walk your hands back underneath you. As you can, hold your opposite elbows into your hands and let the body weight fold deeper. Let the neck release. You're not looking at the ground, but you're looking towards the person behind you. And then slowly, gently come back to level with your hands. Walk both hands to your right leg. Head down, chin in, body in line with the thigh. Pull the sternum so in line with the femur. Walk your hands over towards your left leg. Breathing. Keep those feet parallel. Watch that you're not caving into your arches. Walk your hands back to center. Lift yourself up onto the tips of your fingers. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer together to a comfortable distance. Hands to your knees, shins, and bring your head and heart forward towards and half lift. So push your hands into your shins, lengthen through the crown of your head, and then slowly from your hips begin to come up. Bring your hips underneath you, and then take your arms up and overhead. Exhale and through. Take your arms again, up and overhead reach, and exhale through. Turn back towards the front of the mat. Take your arms up and over your head reach. Exhale, dive forward, hands to the ground, step back into plank. So hold that top of the push-up position. Remember, index finger, pinky finger, thumb are grabbing the ground. Elbows spin towards your knees. Neck is long. Tighten up. Pull the toes towards the wrists. The whole body is braced. Drop your left knee. Anchor your right foot. Take your right hand to the sky. And if you were on like wood planks, think of your left heel of your hand, left knee, and right heel of your foot, all in one line. Take that right arm overhead as you continue to lift your rib cage. Take your arm over and back to the ground, coming into all fours. Exhale, round the back chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, pull the belly in, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Lift the tailbone, pull the sternum forward, lift the head. One more time. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, round the back, chin towards the sternum. And again, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Step one leg back, then the other. Nice and long. Breathing. Again, pack those arms in. Pull those toes forward. Breathing. Drop your right knee to the ground. Anchor your left. Take your left arm up. Open that chest. Take your top arm overhead. Reach. Watch that you're not into the neck or into the lower arm. Circle that top arm all the way back around, coming to all fours. Lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Two more. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Tuck the pelvis, round the back, chin towards the sternum. And again, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, pull the belly in, let the pelvis tuck. Head down, chin. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Roll yourself into a ball as best you can. Breathe in. Come up and weight into the ball. Mount to the feet. Bring your palms to your center. Take your arms wide. Take your arms overhead. And as you can, stand up. Arms come down to your side. Take your arms back up and over your head again. Reach. Exhale, hinge forward to the ground. Lift up out of your heels. Drop into your hips. Breathing. Bring yourself one more time up into that tall posture. Drop one knee to the ground, then the other. Walk your hands out into all fours again. Extend your right leg and left into the plank. Drop your left knee. Roll towards your right. Open your right arm to the sky. Breathing. Take that right arm overhead, lengthen. Circle that right arm around. Come back into plank. Head forward, chest forward. Drop your right knee. Anchor your left. Take that left arm up. Left arm is over. Elongate the whole body. Feel the hand. Exhale. Left hand comes down. Return to plank. Bend the knees. Walk yourself back into that ball. Pull yourself upright. And as you can, stand up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and around. Standing tall. Try not to notice everything else. Go inside and notice what's going on. Take your arms out, up and overhead. Exhale, hinge forward, dive. Inhale, walk your hands back out to plank. Breathing. Walk your feet up to your hands. Head down, chin in. Draw that neck long away from the shoulders. Circle the arms around and back, overhead to chair pose. Lift the chest up. Think about your waist is getting longer. Breathing. Bring your feet as close as you comfortably can to each other, to all the way touching. Make sure your weight is back over your heels. Palms come together. Good. Right hand comes to right hip pocket. Left elbow is going to come to your outside of your right knee. Now here's where it gets fun. It's easy to spin here and try to get it around. If you can't get to your right knee easily, take your right hand to your right knee. Keep your shoulders square. If you can sink in a little bit deeper, squeeze those inner thighs and get that elbow, then you're going to rotate. So your hips should be in line with your heels, not outside your heels. Good. As you can, take that right hand, place it on top of your left, Fingers point towards your face. Take your right hand up. Take your left hand down. Take your right hand down. Left hand to your side. Inhale and sweep up. Exhale and down. Again, circle those arms around, overhead, back into that chair pose. Get long. Bring your palms to center. Left hand to your left hip pocket. Sit back further. Bring your right hand or your right elbow outside of your left knee. Rotate. Sandwich those hands. And lift the chest. Lower the right hand down, left arm up. Exhale, left hand down. That one's hard to breathe and talk at the same time. Exhale and down. A little panicking happening there. Inhale. Walk your hands forward. Bring your knees back. Stomach jump. Inhale, come up about 3/4 of the way and just nod the head. Pull the sternum from the chin up to the chin. Get long through space in the neck without cramming the back of the neck. Draw the crown of the head away from the shoulders. And then bring your hands to your knees. As you can, you sit back on those heels. If you cannot, take a block underneath you. 1, 2, go get a third. So you can either be up with your heels behind you, like those kind of funky chairs back in like the early mid-80s kind of thing. So your heels are up, the shins are down and almost as flat as you can. Torso's over hips without any kind of flexion. Lift up, press into those shins, out, tensing the feet. Just let yourself set into that space. If you took a block and you want to try to go lower, your body may be more ready to let that go. Lower as it's comfortable. Draw your chin to your sternum. Bring your chin and chest up. Take one hand behind then the other. Lift your hips up and lift that body, that torso nice and tall. Breathe. Drop the hips, walk the hands forward, bring one foot forward, sit back into one heel. Good, shift your weight into that foot that's on the ground in front of you. So your right leg for me. Roll into the ball of the foot. Keep the weight still kind of down into the heel. Walk yourself further forward to the toes. Just enough to drop that right knee to the ground. Extend the left leg, get long. Breathing, or your right leg, whichever leg you're on. Drop the back knee, and then begin to roll yourself back into your back heel. Good, and again, do the same thing. Shift as much of your weight into that that front foot as you can. Drop, breathing, and extend. Back knee drops, walking back, and sitting back into your heel one more time. Nice and tall to begin with. Push your weight into the back of that foot, opening up that back of that foot, that ankle, the arch, the big toe, so important. Back leg extends, whole body lengthens there. Drop the back knee, walk yourself back, push still into the ball of the foot, flatten out the back foot, sink into the heels, and sit up. As you can, come up and switch legs. Sit back to that foot. Now, if that's not really available for you, you can move the block and sit higher. So if you can't sit all the way back, we're modifying it so you're sitting on blocks. That's what the blocks are for. Being in just space and just being in pain is really not what we're looking for. So sinking back, and weir is me. I'm the weir in this situation. So sinking back, me, God, you know, whatever, Pam, whichever Pam. Thank you, Pam. Pam wants you to do this. Just sit that weight forward. Again, you're kind of going slow, letting the nervous system go, okay, I can do this, I can do this. Put more weight in, let that heel lift up, more weight across the ball mount to the foot. You can even feel the arch kind of start showing up. Push that bottom foot down, drop the knee, hand comes forward, back toe lifts, extend. Breathe. Drop the back knee and roll yourself all the way back. Good. And again, walk forward, all the way forward, and then extend. Long to the neck, and again, drop the back knee, walk yourself back. One more time. Roll yourself forward, and extend. Walk yourself back, as you can, come up, put both feet back down again. As an option, you can have your hands, your blocks behind you, and you'll come up to that extension, or you're going to sit back, and you're going to bring those hips up again, lift your hips up. Drop your hips down, and again, if you want, sit a block between the legs and then back down. Chin drop in, body fold forward. Bring yourself all the way forward, and then kind of unfurl your legs. Shift into your hips, your quadriceps, your femurs. Palms are down, forearms are parallel. Pull the shoulders back. Breathe and draw the chin again towards the sternum. Pull the belly in, kind of press into the top of the quadriceps. So your femurs are kind of off the ground a little bit. You're in a real elongated kind of plank position. You should feel your core still say, isn't that interesting? And then slowly drop into your belly, sternum lifts, and chest lifts. Take your left knee, bring your left knee kind of to the shape of an H. Breathing, and finding that space, or hoping that space gets closer to the ground. Slide that left leg back. Bring the right knee up to that H on that second side. Press down. That opening up through the lower, deeper part of the groin. For the pelvis. The inner thigh will control the outer hip very often. So you want to, if you're having hip issues, check out the inner thigh. And then slide that leg back. Walk your hands back, bring your hips up, and see if you can take your knees wider. If you want to go to a wide angle of your mat, do so, and then you're going to sink back into your hips. Your feet can bow out, turned away from the midline of the body, and your hips sink back. So again, if you want to shift your position, you're more than welcome to. And then just shift forward and back, and forward and back. Walk your feet in, walk your hands up, knees are still nice and wide. Lift that chest, walk your hands further back, roll back into the ball of your feet again, and this time, just unfurl the legs. Grab your blocks, make a T, top of the T is on the edge, length of the T is on the big flat side. There's probably between 4 and 6 inches in between. Lower back, hold the base of the T, should hit you about mid to lower ribs. You can adjust the head. And again, in this position, it should feel relatively comfortable. If it's pinching, the blocks are in the wrong spot or too high. Knees start bent, just to kind of give the back a chance to rest. Big deep breath, palms towards the sky. As it's comfortable, drop both knees wide to a reclined toddler's pose. As it's comfortable, extend one leg out, left or right. Extend the other leg out. Arms move away from your sides, only to a comfortable position. They should not be hanging in any space. Breathe to the rib cage, to the center of the chest. Sink the chin towards the sternum to release the lower back. Foot in, knees vertical, slide the other foot in, breathing, roll onto one side. First take the middle block out, then roll back, like moving the other block. Take the blocks overhead, just so they're completely out of the way. You're laying back on your back. It may feel a little bit lifted or bowed, because you just lifted and bowed your back. Take some deep breaths down into your belly. You can place your hands on your rib cage to encourage the expansion and then the release. As it's comfortable, take those knees wide again to recline toddler's pose. Gently, slowly walk both knees in so the feet go flat again to the ground. Lift your hips up just off the ground. Shift both hips to the left side of your mat. Bring your knees up at that slight angle, and then drop both knees to the right side. Use the upper arms to lift the upper back and lower back down. So you're square in your shoulders, hips are perpendicular to the body, arms go wide. If it's comfortable, pick your head up and look over your left shoulder. One more. As you can, use your right leg to gently guide your left knee towards your right thigh. So you're kind of bringing some additional rotation. Breathe to fill the belly to increase the length, the space, the movement of the rotation. Big breath. Relax the right hand. Bring the left knee to the chest. Gently roll back. You'll be all off center. You'll be off to the left side of your mat. Shift to the center first. Just let yourself settle for a moment. Then lift your hips up. Shift them to the right side of your mat. Pretty off center, actually. Bring your right knee and left knee up to chest, and then let the weight of gravity in your legs take you over. Again, press into the upper arms, lift that left shoulder, square the back, open the arms. As it's comfortable, lift your head, look over your right shoulder. Some big deep breaths. Using that left hand, encourage the right leg over. First, then bring your right knee and left knee back in line. Again, you'll be all off center, so drop your right foot and left foot. Shift your hips back to the midline of your mat, or as best you can. Line yourself back up. Take another couple of deep breaths. Slide your feet back out. Let your arms drop. We'll just finish with a couple of nice long deep breaths. Release the tension through your jaw. Think of each space of your body as giving in and just kind of settling. If your body was just full of sand, kind of just let that all that stress, tension, pressure kind of just pour out behind your neck, out from your arms, out from your hips. Just kind of think of pouring out just at ease. Big deep breath, inhale, exhale, and just let it go, even with a little bit of aspirative. It's actually a triggering sound to the body to actually let go. When you hear it, people are trying to let go of stuff. As you're resting, as you're settling, just find some space, some ease. Release whatever processing or thoughts you're dealing with. Interesting thing, our body's aware of everything it's doing. Our body's aware of every chemical response. Your brain knows what's going on, in my belief. Everything is going on, there's something aware going on. You've been designed to not think about those things, to not even know about them. You've been designed to let those mechanisms kind of not overwhelm you because it's so much information. But what we forget is we're also designed to quiet our mind. We're designed to be in the presence, just settle. And not have to worry about every thought, everything, every nuance of every moment of the day. But we set ourselves into a position of we've got to conquer it in our own head before we can deal with it outside of our head. I want to give you permission. I want to restore your need to just be quiet and still. Give yourself that opportunity to just not think about something and allow it to happen. Control is probably the one thing that most people won't give up. Sometimes we need to release in order to gain. Take another nice long deep breath. Exhale, slide your feet in. Roll to one side as it's comfortable. Draw yourself upright. Sit as comfortably as you'd like on a block, cross legs, sitting pose, whichever is more comfortable for you. Just kind of feel that uprightness, that connection, just initial connection to gravity again.